Hey guys, welcome back to Poor Consul's YouTube channel, and in this video we'll talk about decentralized exchanges, automated market makers. We'll touch the concepts of liquidity pools, liquidity mining. We'll see why people do provide liquidity in those decentralized exchanges, and after watching this video you will have a good understanding of the exact mechanisms, how those decentralized exchanges work, how do people earn money by providing liquidity in those pools, and you will understand whether you should yourself become a liquidity provider or not, or how to benefit from this revolutionary concept. So first of all, a DEX is just a decentralized exchange. So it operates, it provides the same use case as centralized exchanges do, meaning that two people, in our case, we got Alice and Bob in here, if they have different tokens, be it BEP20 standard or Ethereum-based tokens, they want to exchange those tokens, but they don't know each other. So they can use a decentralized exchange, just like before they were using centralized exchanges like Binance or KuCoin or whatever. So they can use a DEX to exchange their tokens. But the way that DEXs operate is entirely different from centralized exchanges. So to understand that, first of all, let's look at centralized exchanges and see that centralized exchanges, unlike DEXs, they hold your keys, okay? So they have in custody your keys, which means that when you have your tokens and coins in centralized exchanges, you don't have the ownership over your coins. Just like you have the money in the bank promises you to pay your money, whatever you deposited in the bank, at your first demand. The same for centralized exchanges. These are not yours because you don't have the keys. As people in crypto community usually say, not your keys, not your crypto. So that concept applies for centralized exchanges, where they have your keys and have the ownership of your coins, and they just promise to give it to you back whenever you want. But they may have some censorship. They are censorship resistant. They are not censorship resistant, meaning that they can freeze your account, they can ban you, all right, they can do whatever they want. And there are many cases, many people complained having their coins and tokens blocked in Binance. So that's the shortcoming of centralized exchange. Unlike that, DEXs, decentralized ones, they are very secure because your keys, well, you have your keys, you hold your keys, you don't give it to others, so they are secure. But there are other risks with DEXs, such as rug pulling and stuff like that. We'll talk in another video. And they are censorship resistant, meaning that nobody can block your coins or don't give it to them, because you keep on the ownership of the tokens you provide for the entire process, okay? It's done in a decentralized manner, unlike centralized exchanges. I mean, the name talks about it. So enough for that. Now let's understand when and who invented this, who is the author of this revolutionary concept. And we have our good old friend Vitalik Buterin, the author and the creator of Ethereum. In 2017, he came up with an article where he described this concept of automated market makers. And this concept prevails and is in a core of decentralized exchanges. So since then, we have lots of exchanges come up. In 2020, we have PancakeSwap, we have Uniswap, QuickSwap on Polygon. Now let's understand and see what are those liquidity pools and DEXs, and how do we use them, and how do we trade there. So to do that, first of all, let's agree that we don't call the people who bring money to the exchanges, we don't call them anymore market makers. We call them liquidity providers, okay? So in the centralized exchanges and in the traditional market, those are market makers who buy lower price, sell at higher price, they create market, okay? Here we call them liquidity providers. And for liquidity provider, anyone can become a liquidity provider. So we got the pools, all right? And one decentralized exchange may have many pools. For example, each pool must have two assets. So let's say this is our BNB and BUSD pool, okay? Pool BNB, BUSD, meaning that in the pool are two assets, and anyone who wish can bring their BNBs and BUSDs and provide the liquidity, and liquidity means money, means coins, tokens. In this case, BNB and BUSD are the liquidities. So you can bring your liquidity, provide them, add those liquidity into the pool, and in exchange, you will earn the portion of the fees that traders pay to this pool. Okay, so this is where your profit coming from. So, okay, this in like very simple words, I told you what is the liquidity pool. Now let's jump a bit go deeper and see what's coming next. So we may have, as I said, many pools: BNB, BUSD, ETH, DAI, liquidity pool. DAI is the stable coin on Ethereum network, just like BUSD on Smart Chain. So if we continue, we'll see that. Let's have an example. Let's have on PancakeSwap, for example, we got BNB, BUSD liquidity pool, meaning that a liquidity provider, as I said, can come and provide its own liquidity, its own assets of BNB and BUSD to the pool, and in exchange, you will get LP tokens. So LP tokens represent ownership. If you provide liquidity to the pool, then in exchange, you are getting these tokens, so as later on, if you decide to withdraw your initial investment, your initial assets from the pool, you will have to present those LP tokens to prove the ownership and be able to get these assets out of the pool. Okay, now for providing the liquidity, you cannot provide any amount of underlying these assets, tokens that you wish. No, they should be of equal value. For example, let's say in the pool, or in the general market, and later on we'll talk about how do the pools maintain the same price as in the general market, like as in Binance, and this is done due to arbitrages, but just not now. For now, just let's imagine that one BNB, okay, equals 300 BUSD. All right, that's the price. And if you have decided to provide BNB BUSD liquidity into this pool, then you cannot just choose arbitrary numbers to provide. If you're providing 10 BNBs, it should be equal to 3,000 BUSD. Okay, if you provide 20 BNBs, then 6,000 BUSD. The proportion of these two assets should be equal. Okay, so this is the important thing to understand. And then you are getting back those liquidity pools to be able to withdraw later on. Then if we continue, we see that once there is some liquidity already in the pool, a trader or the average Joe who wants to trade or exchange the assets, he can come, in this case, he has BUSD, yeah, and he wants to trade some BNB. So he puts his BUSD into the pool, and whatever the price is in the pool, according to it, he takes out BNB out of the pool. Okay, for example, if he had 300 BUSD and wanted to buy one BNB, he put in 300 and he takes out one BNB. Just like if he went to Binance and sold his BUSD for BNB, the same idea is here. And as in Binance, here also you must pay fees, okay, for trading. And these trading fees are being accumulated and then distributed to those liquidity providers that we have just told you. Yeah, the liquidity providers are gaining the portion of those fees. That's why they were providing those liquidity to earn money. Okay, so this is for traders. Now, if we continue and see what's coming next, is that our liquidity provider, sooner or later, several months ago, later or years later, depending whenever he decides, he wants to withdraw his assets from the pool together with the fees, the profit that he has accumulated. So he's bringing his LP tokens, burning them and putting it back, burning those tokens and getting on from the pool his initial investment plus the fees accumulated, okay? And this is his profit. So that's the entire concept of liquidity pools, how they work. There are two things very important to understand. And first of all, if you are the initial provider of the underlying assets, you create the pool. Anyone can create a pool. You can create your own token. You can call it like Juju token. All right, you got a Juju token, and this Juju token, you want to go to PancakeSwap, you can create your liquidity pool, and then you might have, let's say, how much? You have 1,000 of Juju tokens, and you have and you have 10,000 BUSD. Okay, BUSD 10,000. So if you provide 1,000 Juju and 10,000 BUSD, then the ratio of these tokens in the pool derives the price of the token, and the ratio is 1 to 10, right? 1 to 10. So it means that the price of Juju token will be 10 BUSD, right? One Juju will be traded for 10 BUSD. So the same, this is at the beginning, okay? The ratio decides the price. And now you might ask, well, how about then? How about if people continue trading and more people join our pool and they provide liquidity, traders come, they change. What do traders do? They change the ratio, yeah, of those tokens. They trade by providing BUSD taking out Juju, or providing Juju taking out BUSD. So how does the price change? Yeah, what's the mechanics of the price change? Because this is the idea of this invention, yeah, of this revolutionary idea of these decentralized exchanges. And to do that, we still have the price being decided by the ratio of those coins. However, we need to understand the following. We need to come to the idea of constant product formula, which says that at any time the product of quantity of those token reserves present in the pool must be equal to the same value. Okay, so I understand it might sound a little bit confusing, but understand that the price is determined for each trade by the code. It's a smart contract. Each decentralized, each liquidity pool is a smart contract, okay? And the smart contract, at any time, it controls the price. It decides the price, and the price is being decided by this idea of a constant product formula, meaning that reserve token A times reserve token B equals K. So what does it mean? It means that you provide, for example, let's say 10 Ethereum and 100 DAI. Okay, so Ethereum and DAI is the stable coin of Ethereum, just like USD. Yeah, 10 Ethereum if you provide, then 100 DAI. The product of them, if you multiply, equals 10K, right? 10,000. So this product is unchangeable. This shouldn't be changed. And this is the main idea. And to understand it, let's look at the example and we'll have everything clear. For example, let's see that here, we have the quantity of BUSD in the pool and we have a quantity of BNB in the pool. If you want to trade some BUSD to get BNB, you spend this much BUSD to get this much BNB. So your old position was here, okay, your old position, and your new position comes in here. So the ratio of these tokens in the pool change, but the product is kept unchanged. Okay, so okay, let's continue. Let's have a numeric example and you will understand it better. For example, let's say our pool, initially our pool has 100 BNB and 65,000 BUSD. Okay, imagine, yeah. So initially we provide 100 BNB and 65,000 BUSD. How much is the product? The product equals 100 times 65,000, which is 6,500,000. All right, which itself implies the price of one BNB to be equal to 650 USD, right? You just get this number and divide by 100, the ratio of it. As I told you, the ratio decides the price. So the initial price of one BNB in the pool is equal to 650 USD. All right, that's the initial price. Now, let's say what happened. Let's say you want to, not you, but someone comes and he wants to buy some BNB. Yeah, there's 100 BNB in the pool and 65,000 BUSD in the pool, and then a person comes, the Joe comes, and he wants to get some BNBs. So what he does, he brings BUSD and adds the BUSD because he needs to buy this BNB with his own BUSD, right? So he adds BUSD into the pool and he takes out BNB out of the pool. So 100, which was the initial amount, minus the amount that he's taking out from the pool, times the amount of BUSD in the pool, plus the amount that the trader added to the pool, should be equal to the 6,500,000, because the product, as I said again, as I said previously, and I'm saying again, won't ever change. The product is the same. The ratio changes, and if we rearrange this equation, if we rearrange it, we'll see that BUSD to spend will equal this amount divided by this and minus 65,000. It means that if we want, let's say, out of this example, we want to buy 10 BNBs. Yeah, there are 100 there. You want to buy 10 BNBs, so put 10 in here. Then you will see that the amount of BUSD you pay to get 10 BNBs will be equal to 722. But now you might ask, you must say, wait a moment. Initially, how much was the price? Initially, the price was 650 USD, right, for 1 BNB. And now, when the trader comes and he bought some BNB, the price has changed. Now, if the price was 650 BUSD, now the price has changed to 722 BUSD. How possible? Why did it happen? Well, this is very straightforward, because the amount of BNB in the pool became less. Now there's less BNB in the pool and we have more BUSD in the pool. And just as in economics everywhere, wherever you have less of one product and you have much more money, the BNB, because it's less now in the pool available, then the price of BNB goes up. Okay, so there's the same idea. For example, it's in the centralized exchanges, if you have some whales that want to buy or sell, they want to sell, let's say, lots of Bitcoin in the centralized exchanges, then if they sell all their holdings of Bitcoin, like thousands of Bitcoin at once, the price will dump. Yeah, why? Because their trade is so big that it can impact the market's price. If you go and you just sell one BNB, it won't have any effect on the market. It's neglectable. But if you are a whale and you have lots of Bitcoin and you want to sell it, the amount is so big that it might affect the price, because it will increase the amount of Bitcoin in an exchange so much that the price of it will go down. So the same thing happened in here, because the BNBs, which initially we had 100 BNB, yeah, now the trader took 10 BNB out of the pool, we are left only with 90 BNBs. And initially we had 65,000 BNBs, yeah. So, but now the amount of BUSD, so the amount of BUSDs have increased. So we have more BUSD together with less BNB, meaning that the price of one BNB has risen to 722. So BNB has appreciated. Okay, yeah, of course, you will have those arbitrageurs that we'll talk about them later on, that will see these price differences, and they will make sure that they will add the assets into the pool and make sure the price goes down back to the level. But this is for the topic of another video. For now, just understand that if you are trading big, then your trades might affect the price. And in decentralized exchanges, this is called slippage. This is called slippage, and you might see in many cases, whenever you want to trade in a DEX, you have the control there on the DEX, on the pancake swap. You can choose the amount of slippage you agree, and which means that if you have promised the price of let's say, like, you have your Juju token, yeah. So why I say Juju token? Because for BNB BUSD pool, the amount of liquidity in the pool is so high that your trade is neglectable, compared to the amount of BNB. There are like hundreds of millions of dollars in those pools, and if you are trading like $1,000, nobody cares about it. But if your Juju token that you have just created and provided liquidity in the pool, and a trader comes and wants to buy Juju or sell Juju, then whatever he does, it changes the amount of Juju and BUSD in the pool. So the ratio of these two tokens in the pool change. And if it happens, the price changes. If initially you were promised like $100 for your one Juju, but if you are selling your Juju, it means that the price of it is going down and you won't be able to sell all amount of your Juju at this price. Okay, so you will sell part of it and then another part for a lesser price, less. Okay, the price is going down because there is a huge selling pressure coming from you. And the same applies the other way around. If you are buying, then the price is going up. Okay, so in order, that's why it's some like for these pools of BNB, BUSD, and the other famous token pools, the liquidity is so high, so big there that even like 0.01% of slippage is enough. Okay, but for a newly created tokens, the amount of slippage might even be 16%. It means if from the initial amount of that price that you are trying to buy or sell, you might get 60% less. Okay, and this is the idea of slippage, because you are so big and the market is so small that your actions affect the price in the market. So this is an important idea to understand. So that's all, guys. That's all. I mean, this is, well, yes, this for centralized exchanges, the same was happening there, right? So you are promised one price for the first amount, for the small amount of trade. And then after you do it, we have another price, another price. And that's why in other videos, we'll talk about those whales and sharks. Whenever they sell at those support and resistance levels, because they want this opposing pressure to come in and try to maintain. I mean, if you have 10,000 Bitcoin to sell, if now the price is 60K, yeah, for example, then believe me, you won't be able to sell entire 10,000 BNB for 60K. You might be able to sell about I don't know, like maybe like 30-40% of it, and the rest you will sell for much lesser price, because the huge selling pressure, you are so big that you are affecting the market and changing the price. So this same thing is not just in decentralized exchanges, but the same thing happens in centralized exchanges as well. But in DEXs, we call it a slippage. Okay, we call it a slippage. So that's all for today's video. In the next video, we'll talk about a concept very related to this, and many people suffer those losses without understanding what's happening. This is called impermanent loss. Impermanent loss, and this is present in those liquidity pools. When you provide the liquidity, you are running the risk of having impermanent loss. And in the next video, I'll talk about it and try to describe and make you understand why we have this idea of impermanent loss. What does it mean, and is there a way to prevent it, or how to minimize the risk of impermanent loss, and so on. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and stay with Pool Consult. You will have lots of other interesting videos coming out, and thanks for your time. If you like the video, smash the like button and get subscribed not to lose any other videos. Thank you.